Diane,
All right.
how are
So
you?
good. So welcome everybody to MITAC's first virtual Jeopardy game. We're thrilled to have everybody here today, and it will be so much fun to see how everybody does here. So I'm going to have Anthony Farrell, who's our colleague, who's going to be awesome. He will be the host for today, and he will take it away from here. So, Anthony, um,
Yeah, welcome everybody to Jeopardy! I want to first take the time to introduce our teams that'll be competing today in the first MyTech Jeopardy. Team 1 is going to be the Parkers, Julia and Max. You want to say hi, say a little bit about yourselves?
Hi. We live in Medford. I work at the MIT Furniture Exchange, Student Furniture Exchange, run by the Women's League, MIT Women's League. And Max?
I go to school at the Columbus Elementary School, and I just graduated 5th grade.
Fantastic. How's the weather doing out in Medford? Are you having the crazy storms that we're having? It's good to see everybody's all tied together.
Yes, I was worried our internet would go out.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens to any one of us. If it does, we'll just keep on rolling. And Joyce is our team number 2. Joyce, how are you doing today?
Living the dream every day in every way.
And you work at MIT, yes?
I do, in Aero Astro. When I signed up for this, I thought I was signing up for the audience. So we will see what will happen today. But yes,
exactly.
Looking forward to it.
I think you're going to have a great time. And we have your sister, Vicki, here as well, correct?
Yeah.
Vicki, you've brought Kelly with you, and you're going to be on team 3. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
We're the Pennsylvania contingent here for the Jeopardy game. And so we too thought we were going to be part of the audience. But here we are.
Oh, how times change.
I teach 8th grade language arts.
Oh, fantastic.
I do not know MIT in any way. But
Excellent. And our last contestant who won't be on video is Binoy from out in Lincoln Lab. Binoy, how are you doing?
Hi. Yes. Happy to be here. As Anthony said, I work at Lincoln Lab in Lexington, and I come to MIT once in a while, but mostly I'm out here in Lexington. Happy to be here.
How are things doing out in Lexington? Are you going into the lab on a regular basis? I miss it.
No, not too much, but in the next couple of months, I think things are going to ramp up.
Exactly. Fingers crossed. We'll be really happy once we can get back to Lincoln Lab too.
Mm-hmm.
So fantastic. I'm glad you could all join us for this game of Jeopardy. We're going to take you through our categories for the day. And as we scroll through these categories, I want to thank the team that I've got with me. We have Fufi from the MyTech team as well as Jody. They're both working and they're in my ear telling me things I need to know. So today's categories are going to be word origins, fictional languages, pops, game shows, musical clothing, and last we've got weights and measures. I see some disappointment with those categories. I bet you guys didn't know that you were playing with a literature major graduate of MIT as a host.
No.
Who had to write all of these questions himself. So we're going to start off with the Parkers first. You're going to have first control of the board. Where would you like to start us off?
Anthony, if we could do game shows for 100, please.
Game shows for 100. Hopefully this category will tickle your fancy. The 2008 film Slumdog Millionaire featured a contestant accused of cheating at this trivia competition. And Julie, we have the Parkers.
What is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
That is correct. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? A lovely, lovely film. It has been so long since that film came out. I cannot believe it. Doesn't time fly? That's 100 points, $100 going to the Parkers. You've still got control of the board.
I wasn't alive back then. So.
Let's stay in the category for 200, please.
Game shows for 200. Pat Sajak and Vanna White have hosted This Twist on Hangman together since 1982. And I saw Vicki and Kelly ring in first.
No.
Fast.
I can't think of what is Wheel of Fortune.
That is correct. Right at the buzzer. What is Wheel of Fortune? There we go. And I saw you so excited waiting for me to finish my clue. Very kind of you. 200 points to team 3.
I
And
have
you
a question.
take control of the board. Yes, question from Max.
Sorry. It's just, so can you ring in before the question is over?
No, you have to wait until the question is done being read to ring in. So Vicki and Kelly, you have control of the board now. Where would you like to go?
We'll do word origins for 100.
Word origins for 100. Going over to the literature side of things. Very important. This part of an egg gets its name from the Old English for yellow. And that is the Parkers buzzing in first.
Yolk?
Yolk
what
is
is yolk?
correct. Yolk is correct. And good correction there. Try to phrase everything in the form of a question.
Oh, I'm like, oh, no.
Legal Jeopardy rules say that during the first round of Jeopardy, which we've only got time for one round, you don't get penalized, actually, for not phrasing it in the form of a question. Very lucky there. You've tied Vicki and Kelly on team 3, and you've taken back control of the board. Where are we going now?
Let's continue word origins for 300.
Word origins for 300. The name of this ballroom dance with gliding turns comes from the German for roll or turn.
Come on, Kelly, you should know that.
Vicki and Kelly, buzz it in.
Jeez.
What is waltz?
That is correct. The waltz. This is one I did not know. This information came from the internet. And I heard, Kelly, you should know this. Do you have some dance background that we should know about?
Some German background, but
Aha,
But
there
our
it is.
mother, her grandmother and our mother taught ballroom dancing. So Vicki must have just, in our blood somehow.
Exactly. Well, Vicki and Kelly took another 300 points there and stole back control of the board. Where are we going now?
let's do fictional languages for 100.
Fictional languages for 100. Linguist Mark Okrand created this language, spoken by Star Trek's Worf.
Yeah.
This is an MIT $100 question. What is Klingon? And only here could that make it as a $100 question. Good Lord. Well, Vicki and Kelly, nobody answered, so you still got control of the board. Are you sticking with fictional languages, or are you taking this somewhere else?
I think not, Anthony. Anthony, I think we're going to go back to word origins for 200, please.
Word origins for 200. Let's see if that pays off. The name of this style of aircraft is derived from the Greek, meaning spiral wing. And I see a buzz in from Joyce there.
I am going to say, because of course I am in the Aeroastro department, I'm killing time actually. I am thinking it is a helicopter.
That is correct. It is helicopter. It was a good guess, risking it all, and you get your points on the board. Congratulations.
Why, thank you.
200 points to Joyce, and Joyce, now you're going to be leading us.
Okay, let's take a stab at pops for 100.
Pops for 100. Opening up a new category. If I gotta have my pops, I may be hankering for this sugary puffed cereal by Kellogg's. And Jody, who buzzed in first there? Joyce. I'm being told Joyce buzzed in first.
That would be what is sugar pops?
It is not sugar pops. I'm sorry.
Oh my God,
Incorrect.
I'm devastated.
And next up is Binoy. Binoy, do you still want to respond?
No, I thought I don't want to respond. I withdraw my.
That is perfectly fine. In Jeopardy, you'd have to buzz in a second time. Next up was the Parkers. Do you have a guess?
Sure, we'll try corn pops.
That is correct. What are corn pops? There we go. So the Parkers get 100
Jesus.
points. And Joyce, I'm so sorry. You're going to lose that 100, bringing you down to 100. And the Parkers have control of the board now.
Oh, can we do game shows for 300?
Game shows for 300?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This one.
The Showcase Showdown has selected contestants in the final round of this frugal face-off since 1975. And that is the Parkers buzzing in first.
What is The Price is Right?
That is correct.
Damn it, I have
Price
to.
is Right. One of my favorites from my childhood. I
Yes.
used to sit outside the window of my parents' house when my parents told me to go play outside. That is 300 to the Parkers. And you've still got control.
Can we do game shows for 400, please, Anthony?
Jesus.
Absolutely. Game shows, 400. This highfalutin game of tic-tac-toe usually starred Paul Lynde, Joan Rivers, or Whoopi Goldberg as the center square. And Joyce buzzed in first.
What is Hollywood Squares?
That is correct. Another one of my favorites from childhood. The whole time I was watching Hollywood Squares, it was always Whoopi Goldberg. Always. Whoopi and Bruce Valanche, what a pair. Joyce, you've come up to $500 and you've got control now. Where are you taking us?
Let's finish out game shows for 500.
Well, this is going to be a little embarrassing. Game shows for 500. This mid-century game of 20 questions featuring Dorothy Kilgallen and Arlene Francis is your host, Anthony Farrell's all-time favorite. Ooh, was that a buzz from Joyce? Joyce?
Yes, it is. Yes. What's my line?
That is correct. I'm not the only one who likes it.
Man.
Oh, what a shocker. When we were doing tests, the only person that knew that answer was my boss, who watched me watch it on my lunch breaks.
A friend of my husband's was actually on that show.
Oh my.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Okay.
Some great episodes there. One of my favorites, Colonel Sanders, goes on What's My Line, and nobody knows his face. I have to guess he makes chicken. Well, Joyce, you've still got control of the board. Game shows is all done. Where are we going next?
Okay, well, let's go to word origins for 400.
Word origins for 400, the big questions. This word for the art and science of good eating goes back to the Greek for belly. And we've got a buzz in from Joyce once more.
And Joyce regrets it, sincerely and profoundly. But Joyce will say, is this belly would be...
That is time up on your answer. I'm so sorry, Joyce. You couldn't pull it out. Next up, we had Binoy buzz in. Binoy, would you still like to take a crack at it?
What is gastronomy?
That is correct. What is gastronomy? Binoy with the correct answer, taking 400 points, getting it on the board for the first time, and now you've got control. Where would you like to take us next, Binoy?
Weights and measures, please, for
Oh,
100.
and yes, hold on. Joyce
Yes,
does
yes,
lose
right.
that 400. Thank you for reminding me. Sorry, Binoy. Where were you taking us again?
Weights and measures for 100, please.
Weights and measures for 100. This commonly used metric measure of volume is not an official part of the International System of Units. And we've got a ring in from Joyce.
What is a liter?
That is correct. A liter.
Really?
One of the most common measures of volume, but actually based on the cubic meter, which is a part of the International System of Measures.
It is the only metric unit of measure I know. So
Mhm. Where are we going to next?
let's finish out word origins for 500.
Finishing off word origins for 500. From the Latin for much writing, This machine is a potent deception detector. And I see a buzz in from the Parkers.
Polygraph? What is polygraph?
Yeah.
That is correct. What is a polygraph?
Quickly.
Little known fact, out in Lincoln Lab, they still do use the polygraph, and they've got pamphlets of it hung up outside the MITAC desk. Never gotten a polygraph taken there.
Yeah, we don't take them at Lincoln.
That's
notice
good.
They do it other places, not at Lincoln though.
Oh Lord. So next the Parkers taking 500 points, and you've still got control of the board.
Can we do musical clothing for 300, please, Anthony?
Musical clothing for 300, right in the center. These titular shoes earned Kelly Pickler her first gold record in 2009, 3 years after the song's release. And I think, Joyce, you buzzed in a little early, so Vicki and Kelly, you're going to get to answer.
What are red high heels, please?
That is correct. Red High Heels, Kelly Pickler's career-launching song, 3 years after it came out. Who would have thought? Bringing Vicki and Kelly up to 800 with that $300 haul, and you've got control. Where to next?
Can we do musical clothing for 400?
Musical clothing for 400. According to Brian Hyland, she was afraid to come out of the locker while wearing this for the first time today.
Oh no, we went too fast.
A quick buzz in from Vicki and Kelly. You reset it right afterward. What do you say?
What is a yellow polka dot bikini?
I'm going to actually need a little bit more detail there.
She was afraid to come out of the water.
Itty teeny weeny yellow polka dot
Itty bitty teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
We will accept that. Thank you very much. It was an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini worn for the first time today. Ooh, you gotta have that detail in there. Very important. Vicki and Kelly get the points. And we're stuck on the slide.
This is our opportunity to sing.
Sophie, no! It is unfrozen, I'm being told, and it will change shortly.
There it is.
There we go. And that is $400 to Vicki and Kelly again, lest we forget. Bringing you into the lead with 1,200, and you've still got control. Where to next?
Where do you want to go?
Musical clothing for 200.
Musical clothing for 200. Right Said Fred's protagonist found that he was far too sexy for this item of clothing in the group's 1991 hit. And that is Joyce buzzing in first.
What is his shirt?
That is correct. His shirt. We would have also accepted his hat. Much lesser known section of the song. He was too sexy for his hat, but $200 going to Joyce, bringing you up to 900. You've taken over control. Where to now?
Let's do musical clothing for 500.
Risking it big. Musical clothing for 500. On her 2006 album B-Day, Beyonce advises, when he acts wrong, that's when you put on this eponymous garment. And a buzz in from Joyce.
What is your birthday suit?
That is incorrect.
Darn it!
Not your birthday suit.
But it makes sense.
It does make sense. Not the answer we were looking for. And it doesn't look like anybody else wants to buzz in. Okay. The answer was a freakum dress. A freakum dress. One of Beyonce's lesser known songs, but certainly a bop. Joyce, you do lose 500 points, but nobody got it, so you do still retain control of the board. Where to now?
Musical clothing for 100.
Musical clothing, 100. In Flo Rida's hit Low, Shoddy pairs these trousers with boots with the fur. And a buzz in from the Parkers first.
What is lowrider?
That is incorrect. Not Low Rider. Vicki and Kelly. I think one of you is more anxious to answer.
I don't know who. What are apple bottom jeans?
That is correct. Apple bottom jeans, a classic of our time.
Are you people that I do not know these people?
That is 100 from the Parkers, and it goes over to Vicki and Kelly's team. 1,300, still with the lead, and now with control of the board. Vicki, Kelly, where are we going?
Can we do pops for 200, please?
Absolutely. Pops for 200. Researchers at Swarthmore College say it takes an average of 144 licks to get to the center of these. And we have the Parkers buzzing in first.
What is a Tootsie Pop?
That is correct. Tootsie Pops. 144 licks. A surprising wide range of answers from different researchers depending on the style of licking machine and where the licking happened, at the equator or at the top of the pop. Now, the Parkers have taken control of the board. Where to next?
How about fictional languages for 300, please?
Fictional languages for 300. Harry Potter acquired the ability to speak this language of snakes from Voldemort. A quick buzz in from the Parkers.
What is Parcel Tongue?
That is correct. Parseltongue. A lovely language. All hisses in the movie. Good Lord. Who would have thought? 300 more going to the Parkers, and you've still got control. Where to?
How about fictional languages for 400, please?
Fictional languages for 400. And that's the daily double.
Oh, no, I was hoping not to get this.
Oh, well, now you're going to have to decide. How confident are you? How much money are you going to risk on this one?
I'm not going to be like, what's his name, James. I'll do 500.
Considering that's probably a good strategy, risking 500 on the daily double. And slow. J.R.R. Tolkien crafted this language whose forms include Quenya and Sindarin long before writing his books.
What is, I should know this, Elfish?
We are going to accept it. It is an incorrect form of the language, but I knew what you were going for. It is Elvish or Elven.
Okay.
But we'll give it to you.
Elvish.
That's close enough.
Okay.
I don't know if J.R.R. Tolkien would have given it to you, but we'll give it to you.
It's hard when you read something but don't hear it pronounced.
Exactly. That brings your score up to 2,000 with a commanding lead.
Well,
You are taking us somewhere next.
Let's do fictional language for 500, please.
Fictional language for 500. You would say double plus unwarm rather than freezing cold in this language from George Orwell's 1984. And another buzz in from the Parkers.
Is, oh boy, double speak?
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Any other buzzers for this one? I never read 1984, oddly enough. I'm ashamed as a literature major. No buzzes. We were looking for newspeak. Newspeak. A very fun language to be sure, but we are going to take that 500 away from you, but it's okay. You still have control of the board. You still got your 1,500, still have the lead. Where to next?
Fictional languages, please, for 200.
Finishing off the category. You can be like Daenerys and learn around 4,000 words of this language of Khal Drogo. No big Game of Thrones fans here, I see. We were looking for Dothraki.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Of course, we were looking for Dothraki. Oh, well, the Parkers still have control.
Pops for 500, please.
Pops for 500. Batman, Batgirl, and Green Lantern were the first to be turned into these vinyl figurines, debuted in 2010. Joyce, I don't know what that face means. Are you on the verge of an answer or no?
I know exactly what it is because I have one that's Joyce.
I have 3, but we are out of time. We were looking for Funko Pops. That must be frustrating. I'm looking at 2 of them over here on the right. Good Lord. Well, that means the Parkers still have control. Are you sticking with Pops? Where to next?
For 400, please.
Pops for 400. These patriotic tricolor frozen treats are also found in stores as firecrackers. And we've got a buzz from Joyce.
What are rockets?
I'm going to need more.
What are rocket pops?
Yes. That is the key part of the answer there in this. In this category, we were looking for bomb pops or rocket pops. Correct choice. You're going to double your score there. It'll bring you up to 800, and now you've got control, Joyce. Where to?
Okay, let's go with pops for 300.
Finishing off the category, pops for 300. The pops in the name of this Mass Bay musical ensemble, led by Keith Lockhart, refers to popular music. And a buzz in first from Joyce.
What is the Boston Pops?
That is correct. The Boston Pops, one of our favorite MITAC offerings that we are sad we cannot offer at the moment. And that takes you up another 300 points. That'll be 1,100 for you. You are climbing your way up the ladder. Where would you like to go next to see if you can take the win?
Oh, let's go for the glory. Weights and measures for 500.
Weights and measures 500. This institutional unit of length was named after a young Oliver in 1958. And our first buzz is from Joyce.
What is a smoot?
That is correct, a smoot. I am so sorry to Vicki and Kelly. Unaware of the MIT traditions, a smoot is the height of Oliver Smoot during his inaugural hazing for joining a fraternity at MIT, wherein he was laid across the Mass Ave bridge from head to toe until the entire bridge was measured. That is 500 going to Joyce, bringing you to 1,600. You are in the lead. Let's see if you can hold on to it. Where to next?
Let's do weights and measures for 400, Anthony.
Weights and measures, 400. This nautical term refers to length, and traveling 20,000 will get you a fourth of the way from the Earth to the Moon. First buzz in from Vicki and Kelly.
What is a league?
That is correct. A league. 20,000 leagues under the sea refers to a journey around the globe. 20,000 leagues done under the sea. Who would have thought? Again, Kelly, you've taken control. You've gotten yourself 400 points, and you've stolen back that lead. And you hold on to it.
Can we do weights and measures for 200, please?
Weights and measures for 200. This measure, less popular than the foot, is still used to measure the height of horses. First buzz in from Joyce.
What is a hand?
That is correct. A hand, still used to measure height. That's 200 points, and since you're so close, that gives you the lead. This is neck and neck. Good Lord, Joyce. Are you going to thrash your sister?
I hope so.
We're going to the last category, weights and measures for 300 before Final Jeopardy. The name and confusing abbreviation for this unit of weight are both derived from the Latin libra pondo. And the Parkers buzzed in quickly.
What is pound?
That is correct. It's a pound. The abbreviation, of course, being LB, libra pondo. Always wondered what that was. Took until I was crafting Jeopardy to learn. And that means we are going into Final Jeopardy with the Parkers at $1,800, Joyce at $1,800, Vicki and Kelly at $1,700, and Binoy with $400. But this is where anybody can win it or lose it. And you're all going to have to decide what you bet. Before you see the clue, our category today is musicals. So do with that what you will.
Oh.
Music.
We bet it all.
And you'll all have to send your bets and eventually your guesses to my co-host, Jody Schwedelson. So if you can open up a private chat with her, just to keep you honest, you want to send to her how much you are risking on this Final Jeopardy. Jody will tell me once everybody is in. And just so everybody knows, we do not have any music for this final round. It is included in the PowerPoint that we're using, but it is painfully loud. So instead, during Final Jeopardy, you're going to hear me sing. And Jody, we are ready to go. I'm being told, so we will go to the prompt. This Andrew Lloyd Webber musical was in such demand at its debut that it was the first MITAC event offered by lottery only. We'll start the timer and the singing. Do 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 do. We're not singing anymore. Not in a category about musicals.
Awesome. You should, however, sing something from this musical.
I wish I could.
See how perspicacious we are.
I don't think that would help anybody. I don't think I fit any of the parts in this musical, unfortunately. And that is the end of our time. I do hope you have all sent your guesses for this Final Jeopardy over to Jody, but we are going to have you read them off along with your bets in order. We'll start with the Parkers. How much did you risk on this one?
I bet $17.99.
Ooh, taking a big risk there, swinging for the fences. And what was your answer to this one?
Cats.
That is incorrect. Murphy will show us what the correct answer is. That's going to take you down to $1. The correct answer was Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
So Joyce, I know the suspense is kind of missing now, but Joyce, did you bet?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I want you to know what I wrote to Jody in terms of what I was betting.
Okay.
This is good, Anthony. Oh, stay with me.
With you. Sure.
I wrote I was betting the whole kit and caboodle.
Aha.
Without knowing what the question was.
Yes.
And then I proceeded to answer wrong, but so I was just the cosmos was somehow tapping into the cat. I think if I think MITAC needs to rerun its records. Maybe we get new data processing.
Sure.
Fine.
Oh, we absolutely need to rerun our records. So I'm hearing that you did not get Phantom of the Opera, and you already been taken down $1,800 to a total of $0. Just behind the Parkers.
I was inspired.
I admire your confidence. It didn't pay off this time, but thank you for playing, Joyce. Vicki and Kelly,
The first two players.
you know how well you did.
They were wrong. Wait.
You bet how much,
I was wrong
Vicki?
too, but I didn't bet it all.
How much, Vicki?
we bet it all,
Okay.
and we bet cats.
And you bet cats. Also incorrect, which brings you down to $0. Benoy, you hold quite possibly victory in your hands. I'm going to ask you what you answered first. What did you answer?
We can't hear you, Binoy. He's done with us.
Benoy, I believe in you. I don't believe in your answer. I'm pretty sure you got it
I
wrong.
was trying to mute, but it said the host had control or something.
Ah,
Anyways,
there we are.
I was also wrong. I said cats.
Yeah, cats, a popular choice there. But I believe I heard you did not bet the whole kit and caboodle as Joyce
No, I
did.
left $100.
You left 100. What a strategy. risking $300. Binoy has brought himself down to 100. And good Lord, if this was a game of Jeopardy, it might be the saddest I've ever seen. But Binoy, you pulled out a late win, risking it very responsibly. We faked you out with cats.
I may be
so
the
proud.
only contestant to ever win with just one correct answer.
Well, good Lord, it was
My
so
dad
fun
says
to
they
see.
keep bad records. So.
We're all very proud. Claps all around from us. I want to thank everybody for coming out to MITAC Jeopardy. It is the end. We did not run an hour and a half like we did in our test. I'm very proud of us keeping it on time. Thank you so much to the Parkers. Thank you. Thank you so much to Joyce. And thanks for bringing your sister Vicki along, and Kelly as well. And thank you to Binoy, who I will wave for.
And I'd like to thank all my people in Aeroastroland who logged on. Yay!
Thank you so much to all of our guests, everybody who's come to watch us. We're very happy. And if you enjoyed this and you'd like to share it, we'll be putting it up on YouTube shortly. So
Oh gosh.
keep tuned to MITAC, and keep tuned to MITAC as well for our future virtual offerings. And we will be planning another one of these with different questions, possibly different contestants, depending on who decides to step up. Maybe there'll be some rematches. Who knows? We
Hopefully
hope
the
you
same
enjoyed
host.
yourself. Exactly. Hopefully,
Same host.
as long as my internet holds out.
Well, thank you to MITAC. You did a great job, Anthony.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Anthony.
I know how hard this is I've done this sort of stuff with the department, and God love you.
And thank you also to my co-hosts back in the booth, Foofy and Jody. If you want to say hi, if it's working, you definitely can. And thank you also to Diane, who introduced us. Hey, couldn't do it without you guys. This is very helpful. And there's Foofy. Hey.
Hello.
Okay, time for us to disappear. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on another one.
Bye.
Bye.